Go ahead.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have Mr. Uhas again. Do you know, Mr. Uhas, that you have the distinctive pleasure or honor, or maybe it's my honor, that you are the only person that has come back to my cooking show?
No way, I almost brought my spatula too, just to be prepared.
Yes,
I do use it at home.
So I didn't give you another spatula.
Good, that's cool.
But, and we won't ask you the same questions. Although, actually, maybe I should, because this is a different group of kids.
Whatever
so
you want to do.
All right. So anyway, Mr. Uhas is here to help us walk through our continuing unit on breakfast favorites. So last week we made buttermilk pancakes. With Mr. Garofalo, we made keto pancakes, which focuses on kind of different nutrients and ingredients going into a pancake. And what are we making today, Uhas?
Today we are making gluten-free waffles.
Okay, so can we talk a little bit about why gluten-free? So we made a perfectly good buttermilk pancake last week, and they were good. Why would we want to mess with that?
So with flour, right, it has gluten in it, so it can cause, it's an allergen for a lot of people. So my wife personally she's all gluten-free. If you are taught by Mr. Valfola, she has celiac disease. And other individuals have celiacs where they're not able to consume gluten, so eat your typical breads. And a lot of other products that are out there, gravies and different things, use wheat flour. And this is a different type of flour, so it won't cause any kind of allergic reactions or digestive issues of that nature.
Okay. So with the keto pancake, we used an almond flour because it's high in protein. Now we're steering away from a typical wheat flour for a different reason, more for allergies. So what flour or what flours do we use for a gluten allergy? Like what things are safe typically?
Well, they have almond flour, coconut flour works, and a lot of times you can go to the grocery store and they just have a gluten-free all-purpose baking flour, which is usually the best if you really want it to rise.
Yeah.
But the almond flour, when I've used it, I have used it for these waffles before, but they came out a little bit runnier, so I had to use a lot more flour to kind of balance it out.
And I think that's what this is. I think this is a gluten-free,
The all-purpose one.
all-purpose baking flour mix. Okay, so great. So this is it's just another alternative, and just understanding that some people can't eat certain foods, and so just another alternative for our breakfast favorite, to realize you don't have to skip out on some of these things. There are recipes that can meet your needs. All right, so you've got the dry ingredients and I've got the wet ingredients, and
Cool.
If we want to get started, you can just kind of talk through what you're doing. I'm going to go grab, we're using almond milk, is that right?
Yeah, it does call for buttermilk, but I don't personally buy buttermilk, nor do I know how to actually make it, so we drink almond milk in my family, so I just kind of went with almond milk and figured it would make do. And it hasn't steered me wrong. At least my wife is happy with the pancakes, and that's usually how I judge my baking or cooking, that if she's happy, then I can be happy.
Just like go along with happy wife.
Happy wife, that's what everybody's always told me, so I kind of go with that method. And it hasn't made the waffles not, be rise enough or be not tasty, so.
Well, here's the thing. I will say this. So notice that I'm getting down to measure eye level for the line in a liquid measure. That's the expectation. I'm looking for about 1.5 cups of almond milk. I was thinking about this because honestly, when you said you don't use buttermilk, it made me a little bit nervous because buttermilk causes the chemical reaction that causes most quick breads to rise. Buttermilk mixed with baking soda because it has that acidicness to it.
Gotcha.
However, I noticed that we're using baking powder to make them rise, and baking powder is a complete leavener, which means it doesn't require any other ingredient to make it rise.
That's a new fun fact for me to know, because I did not know that.
See, there you go.
Yeah. Now I have to do a cup, 1 full cup, and then 3/4. So because there's no 3/4 cup, everybody mathematically, right? I just did 3/4 cups, right? You can count that 1, 2, 3 for 3/4. Okay. Versus eyeball, which is good.
Light bulb.
Yeah. Very important, right, to get that. And sometimes you do have to add it. If it comes out like a little runny, I'll add flour to thicken the actual mix, but you just kind of eyeball that at the end.
Okay.
All right, what I got next? Baking powder. Cool.
And I'm putting in a teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla gives flavor.
Yeah. Vanilla always smells delicious, but then have you ever tried to drink it plain?
yeah.
It tastes horrible.
Yeah, it's one of those things like cocoa powder. You would
Right.
think, hey, this is awesome. And then until you stick a spoon in it and try and taste it, and it's like, oh, what have I done? When I was little, my mom was making a cake, and she was making the icing, and it looked so good. It looked like vanilla frosting in the mixing bowl.
Yeah.
So when she wasn't looking, this will teach you kids. When she wasn't looking, I took my finger and I swiped the inside of the bowl and I ate a big glob of it, and here it was just shortening. It was disgusting. I learned my lesson. It was disgusting. So this is a whisk, in case you don't remember, and I'm using this to mix up the liquid ingredients, which are 1.5 cups of almond milk, 1/4 cup of oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs beaten.
Yep. And I'm just doing, that was my sugar, and it says 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, but I like cinnamon a lot, so I just kind of like look at it and just go like, yeah, that's a good amount of cinnamon. Right? So I don't really measure that one. Otherwise, salt I definitely measure because you don't want too much salt at the time. Oh, and I get the whisk now too.
You need to whisk. You ready?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So do you have to make a well in the center of this? Like I know with glutinous flour, you have to make a well and you don't want to overmix because it
You know, Miss Colbert,
produces the
I
gluten.
think what we're doing here is more work than I ever did. Now, I made these for Valentine's Day, and I just mixed it all together, and then I just kind of went for it. So I just whisked it all together in one bowl, didn't do 2 separate bowls, because you know what? I don't like dishes that much. If you want to do this, this is probably the right way to do it. I just went for it. And so if you need to do that sometime, you just go. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, it worked out. Now you gotta give it some, heavy duty whisking here so it actually thickens up the time. So it takes a little bit. And each batch has always been different for me.
So this waffle iron has been heating up, and we're just gonna spray it with non-stick spray.
Now the other thing I sometimes do, and I didn't print you out, I didn't send you the actual directions. Sometimes you want to let this sit for like 20 minutes after you whisk it in the fridge. You can do that. You can not do that. It all depends.
What does that do?
I don't know. I think it just, lets everything gel a little bit. So I let it sit. It's like cookies, is what I think. You're supposed to let cookies sit, I think.
After you
I whisk them together.
make the ingredient, after you make the dough?
Yeah, I don't know. The one recipe I had said let it sit in the fridge for a while. So I usually put it in the fridge, come back to it like 20 minutes later. Get my coffee ready. I make this, then I make coffee.
Okay, that's great, Mike.
More routine. I know.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Are we
sure.
good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, so let's just see. We'll make a couple of these. Let me just see if this is ready. Yeah, this is ready. Okay, so how much batter do you normally put on? Excuse me.
You want a measuring amount?
No, never mind.
I do enough that covers the waffle iron that does not spill over
like
the
that? I always
Yeah.
spill. So I'm a real messy cook,
Same here.
so I'm always making a mess.
Yeah. So you just kind of go with what you feel is right, is what I go with.
Does that feel right?
That feels right. You got most of them covered. It shouldn't spill out. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so while that is cooking, what do you like to top your waffles with?
I'm usually just a butter and syrup kind of guy. Pure maple syrup is always the best. Fruit on the side, or not fruit on top usually.
No whipped cream and fruit?
No.
I'm a big whipped cream, fruit, maple syrup. I put on. Okay. All right. Well, let me just ask you a couple of questions that I ask all of my guests. Question number 1. Can you dig these out of the reservoirs of your memory?
Figure it out.
All right. Question number 1. Favorite food? Food you can't live without.
Peanut butter. I eat peanut butter at least once a day. So I'll either eat it at breakfast, I'll put it in a protein shake, I'll eat it just when I give my dogs a treat, they like peanut butter too. So I'll give myself
Can
some
dogs
peanut butter.
eat peanut butter?
Oh yeah, if you take them to the vet, they give them peanut butter non-stop, or at least my
Really?
troublemakers. So I love peanut butter. Peanut butter icing is my favorite type of icing. Everything peanut butter.
Nice. What's your favorite brand of peanut butter? Jif? Skippy.
And sometimes, and I like both, creamy and the chunky, the chunky kind. I'll do both. I like just peanut butter.
Okay, good to know. All right, I already knew that though. A favorite memory surrounding food. I do remember that from last time. Favorite memory surrounding food, and I remember the answer to this one too. And it has to do with.
I think
I
I
don't
would
remember.
say making nut rolls with my mom, or what
Yeah,
is it? Yeah.
that and
my favorite thing
do you
is
make kolaches or something like that?
we make halupkis, we make babajki, we make nut roll. So I'm Slovak, and Russian is my family's heritage, is where we immigrated from. So we still make a lot of those family recipes dating back from my great grandmother and grandmothers. I used to make it with them, and now my mom, every holiday, I'll go over and I roll out the nut roll dough,
Yeah.
and my mom will make the filling for it. And then I always have the sauerkraut duty for some of the other stuff because we eat a lot of things that most people might not find appetizing, but they work for the holiday. So like,
Yeah. Did
I
you say
love it.
sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut. We make a little sauerkraut soup, and we make babaiki, which is just sauerkraut and bread dough.
Have you
So-
ever made homemade sauerkraut? Putting salt and shredded cabbage in a crock and pressing down?
I have not personally made it.
Oh,
That
okay.
sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is actually. I'll give you a head of cabbage from my garden next summer. All right, your go-to kitchen gadget or tool that you can't live without.
Oh, I don't remember what I said for that.
I think you said. What?
Was it a knife of some kind?
No.
No?
I thought it was like a mixer for some reason.
No. Did you say a coffee pot?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, I drink coffee all the time. So if I'm not drinking water, it's gonna be coffee. I've already had 3.5 cups or 4 cups today. I'll drink another 2. I love coffee.
Is that
Black.
why you're so high energy?
Of course. Yeah.
All right, let's see. What do you
yeah, they're
think?
looking
Do
pretty
they
good.
need more time?
All depends on how dark you like your waffles.
Well,
I
how
guess.
dark do you like them? This is your recipe.
We'll give it another minute.
Another minute. Okay. All right. Steph, do you want a waffle?
I'm good.
You would not eat.
Sorry, no offense to you.
Do you guys want a waffle? You ladies want a waffle? Snyder?
Uh-oh.
Interrupt.
Deal.
Do you edit these films at all? Or do you just put them right up there like this?
I don't know
Perfect.
how to edit. Can you answer that, my assistant? What's your favorite thing to cook, Mr. Uhas?
My favorite
Yeah.
thing to
Because
cook.
I realize that you are a cook. You go grocery shopping.
Well, I like cooking. I like cooking anything really. I like making like whole meals. Like I made fish tacos this week, so I got some red cabbage. I got flounder, and I put that with like some seasoning. And then I also made a big Buddha bowl.
Okay.
So a lot of vegetables and different things like that. But
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun. I love baking. I really do like to make cakes and cookies and all that stuff. It's all
Really?
delicious.
So maybe you could come and show us how to make a nut roll, because that would be
I
interesting.
have the
to me.
recipe on my phone. I got to share it with some ladies. We were talking about that type of food. So
Yeah.
they were talking about some of what their families used to make, and they didn't have a nut roll recipe because a lot of people pay over like $12 to $14 for
Oh, yeah,
a
they're
nut roll.
expensive.
They're expensive. They always say Ukrainian. It's Ukrainian, Slovak, Russian, all that.
Do you make it with like a phyllo dough?
No, we make it. Well, it has some sour cream in it. So I guess it's like a sour. I don't know exactly. I don't think it's phyllo though.
Okay.
That's probably good. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All
that'd be
right. I can smell the cinnamon.
good. All right.
I love cinnamon. All right. You
Good
sure you
work.
don't want one, Schneider?
Mm-mm.
All right. One for you, one for me.
Cool.
Beautiful.
I'll just throw another one
Oh
on.
yeah, maybe a little spongy. We could have left it in a little longer.
It's
It's all right. No, it's you never know. It's all like eyeball. You know, I don't exact recipes. It's just feel.
It smells amazing.
That's the thing with like a lot of the gluten-free doughs. They're not as tasty a lot of times in different ways, or they taste a little bit different
Yeah.
than your typical doughs.
Thank
So you gotta be like finding the right recipe is always difficult for my wife. So like we make gluten-free pizza dough. Her father does at different times. And this waffle, like I said, I can eat gluten, so I will.
you. Yeah.
I prefer it in a lot of the breads and stuff, but I will eat not like gluten-free with her. So she likes this,
Right.
and I'll eat this with her.
Well, that's a good husband.
Yeah, you try.
You want syrup?
We done?
Well, taste it and
Oh,
tell us
sorry.
how you like it, and then we'll be
I
done.
gotta.
You have to kind of review it.
Yeah. It's more you. I mean, I ate, like I said,
You can take your mask off to eat if
I
you
ate
like.
this Sunday.
Oh, you made this on Sunday?
I made this on Sunday for Valentine's Day with some bacon and like surprised my wife with coffee and waffles.
Ah, that's so
Mm.
nice.
It came out pretty good.
That was very good.
I like the cinnamon in it because, like I said, I love cinnamon and like oatmeal and different things. So that's what I always taste in it.
Very delicious. I hope that even if you're not gluten-free, that maybe you'll try it, something different, and maybe at some point in your life you'll want to or wish that you learned how to cook different and alternative type foods like this. So enjoy.